How's it going, Dared?
How's it going, Gandy?
Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
It's a little bit earlier this time. So I was thinking we could maybe introduce each other.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
I try my best. Please correct me. This is Gandy. Next to me, a handsome guy from the US. Very graphic focused with a fetish for typography. Is that right?
I feel like fetish is probably an incorrect word.
I wanted to use it because I'm from Berlin and everything is about fetish.
Maybe fascination.
All right.
Yeah. Cool. And I'm next to Dared. He is a prolific street artist here in Berlin. He does wheat paste. He does just about everything. He is undisclosed at the moment because his art is maybe not the most above board. Is that a good way to put it?
Well, yeah, it's a good way to put it in the first place. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, we're here today, and we're just kind of. I don't like this.
What?
This isn't good. It feels like a production. Okay, cool.
It is a production.
Yeah.
May switch off your feelings, man. Just do it.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, man.
Okay, cool. So we're here on Sunday. We're gonna chat a little bit. I do have a story for you.
Great.
It happened yesterday.
I'm curious when you have a story for me.
Yeah.
I love it.
So I went to a Christmas market yesterday, or last night.
Which one? There are like several.
It was in Neukölln.
All right.
It was like the one with all the. It's like organizations, nonprofits. I'm not really sure what they're called here. So they all have the booths, and so like everyone's selling brats and Glühwein and all that stuff, and then all the money goes to the charity. So
nice.
So
but was it more food related or also items?
I wasn't there that long because I get really anxious in big crowds.
Yeah,
so
I feel that.
I was there for about an hour. I got a brat, and then I was trying to get some Kinderpunsch, aber the lines. It was a very long Schlange.
I still have a voucher for a Christmas market.
Oh, okay, yeah. But I was there, and I was walking with some friends. And I'm not sure if this lady was Italian or not.
Yeah.
She spoke with a British accent, English, so it's really hard to peg down.
Yeah, but it's not common for an Italian to speak British accent.
Well, she may have studied there. I don't know.
No.
But
it's not common.
Yeah. So we were walking, and she was asking what type of art I do, and I told her that I do a lot of stuff, but right now I'm really happy because I'm almost finished writing a book with my left hand. And she asked what type of book am I writing?
Yeah.
And what it's about, and I said that it's about creative perseverance. And then she asked if she could see it, so I actually had it with me, so I pulled it out and showed it to her, and she said, "This is just a bunch of letters." And I said, "What do you think a book is?"
I mean, yeah. We learn all the letters in school, and then people mix them up in books.
Yeah, I feel like people waste time trying to put them in
in the right order.
Yeah. Well, no, mine are in the right order. It's just they're not reordered.
For your.
Yeah. So I was thinking today we could chat about misunderstandings in art. Does that?
That's a very cool intro. I mean, I was thinking about misunderstanding, what kind of misunderstandings, but then I kept it open so we can talk about that. We wanted to talk about business and art in general, so I was thinking about how business confuses with art and the other way around, but we also can just talk about art and misunderstandings in general. What were you thinking?
Well, then let's start there. Let's start with our perspective on like what the idea of art is and how it relates to like the real world is what I would call the business world.
So artists are not living in a real world?
Well, I mean, I think that when we're young, or at least for me, when I was young, I was very idealistic.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I could just neglect finances and neglect commerce of all types. And I thought that I was going to be different and that I could just make my art and then just find a way through life. And as I got older, I found that not to be true.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that. Yeah, I mean it's difficult. Maybe if you have the nice frame, you can do it. Some supporter.
Oh, a nice friend, yeah.
A good friend who just gives you money.
Yeah, but
do your art.
I think that they wouldn't be your friend for very long if every time you talk to them it was about getting money.
I mean, now we are at the right point. It's about misunderstandings. So maybe someone sees a value in you doing art and spending on it, and he's very happy seeing you growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Possible.
But see, that's still an exchange of value. So what I would,
I mean, is always an exchange of value.
That's my point, is that you can't just like, at least I don't want to say you can't, but from my limited experience, I find that whenever someone enjoys art, that is a value. And I find that the artists who do it over the long term are capable of figuring out a way to exchange that value for money. And I find that the ones that choose not to engage with that are usually really stressed out. They're struggling to put a roof over their head, to eat. And personally, I find that I make better art whenever I'm well fed and know where I'm sleeping.
It's your mindset. You can set the same thing in a business value context and still enjoy your art because you feel more comfortable and you can just do whatever you want and you know, okay, some income is coming, whatever I'm doing, and people love it. It's just the confidence in that time. So the value you are like projecting to the world outside you doesn't matter because it's coming, you know. That's you're struggling too much in that case, or in the sense of whatever I'm doing, it has to be in a currency so I can make something out of it.
Wait, can you explain that in a different way?
No.
Okay, I'll try to rephrase it just to make sure I understand what you're saying. So what
I could say it in a different way. But
so let me try to rephrase it to make sure I'm understanding you. So what I'm hearing you say is that it cannot be the focus and still happen because it's going to happen anyway.
Yeah, that's a good sum up. Like
okay, do you
something
know,
like that? Yeah.
Do you know the hip hop artist Aesop Rock?
You always ask me about people I don't know. Then some people I know listen to the podcast and they say, yeah, this is one of my favorite artists. And I was like, I'm so not educated. So please don't ask me. Just tell the story of the artist.
I want to know. Okay, so Aesop Rock, he's a hip hop artist. He plays with words. I think he's phenomenal.
Yeah, cool.
I've been following him for over a decade now. But he has a song that in it he says a line that goes, "The only bridge I burned along this legacy I've danced is the one that stood between the cities of prosperity and chance." And I find that when artists leave it up to chance, chances are it's not going to happen. So I think having a solid understanding of the finances of art and finances in general, it doesn't mean that your art is less important. It just means that you're a well-rounded individual and you're covering all your bases while you're attempting this huge feat, which is creating a body of work that resonates. That's important to the culture.
Yeah. I mean, it gives like this core misunderstanding of business and art is like, is art just a cost and you're enjoying it, like something you can consume? Or is it some kind of investment? And then this is like the business perspective.
So
people invest in things so they get something out of it.
Yeah, that's
not now, but maybe later. But putting this pressure on the artist will ruin more or less the artwork.
If it's an artist who is delicate, and I find that most artists that we still remember and still look at and still go to the museums for,
Yeah.
they weren't delicate. They may have been unbalanced. They may have had their issues, but they were not delicate because they were able to forge their own creative voice to the point to where when you see one of their works, you know it's them without even looking at the name. And I find that this idea of artists being separate from the realities of the world, I think that's like a dangerous idea because it makes delicate artists.
Okay. But is it a bad thing? I mean, we could have all kind of artists and still enjoy it because it's art.
Yeah.
And we see it in different contexts. So
Well,
some people are closer to making art for business.
Mm-hmm.
Some are making art that is closer to themselves and something came out of them and still get like inspired for them. Maybe the people who do art closer to business are getting inspired by those who make more out of themselves because they are more like creating really something new. And the other artist who's like just turning art pieces into value, look for interesting artworks and just repeating them or like bring a new perspective to it to have an easier income out of it.
Okay.
It's possible, and it's also what I see, and it's working.
I think you're setting up a false dichotomy right now.
Yeah.
You're separating into different types of artists, and I think you're putting one in a different category than the other. And I think that you mentioned earlier speculation or investing, and investing is speculation.
Yeah.
And I would say that's all the commerce of art is. You buy something in the hopes that it brings value to either your life or to your bank account or to your children. And I think...
Well, that's very like a short-term thinking.
No, it's if you're the person spending money on the art, you want the value to come to you.
But some really want to have something joyful and bringing a good spirit to the house. That's why they bought this artwork.
Yeah,
and they really feel it. And this is the value, not just having like your grandparent or your grandchildren selling this artwork and get another house for that.
I think we're speaking. I think we're having a misunderstanding right now. So let's do what's best when there's ever a misunderstanding. At least from my experience, let's define our terms.
Okay.
So we're speaking about value. I think there's two different ways to look at value. There's financial.
Yeah.
And then there's spiritual.
Yeah.
In this case, when we're talking about
in this case, art. Maybe if we have a board and write down everything and make a mind map, maybe we find more.
So can we call it FV and SV?
What is FV?
Das ist
financial value.
Yeah.
And spiritual.
Yeah.
Value.
Yeah.
Okay. It's interesting. We can talk about that.
Yeah. So let's talk about financial value first.
Yeah.
And then spiritual value second, because one is more concrete and one's more abstract.
Which one is abstract?
Spiritual.
Well, the spiritual one is much more easy to get because it's pure emotion, and this is where art is placed. I mean, you're creating spirits, and then people get the spirit to live through it. That's a very lineal thing, and from the spirit of an artist creating interest and turn that into value, it's a much more complex. That's just my more or less definition.
Yeah, so that's why we're separating it out. So when it comes to, let's talk about the spiritual first then.
Yeah.
Because it seems like that you're connecting with that more right now. So when it comes to spiritual value, or SV, or cultural value, whatever you want to call it, I think that I still think that the artists who are providing that to the culture at large, and when I say culture, I don't mean the art culture, I mean the world culture, societal culture, to a country, to a city, to even like a local town or village.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
I think that the value there is that the spiritual value is that it gives life to
The society, the
yes.
local thing.
So whenever you go to like a village, they can stake their identity off of the artist it produces.
Yeah.
So it's saying that we produce the types of people who produce these types of things, and you can take pride in that as a city. And there's no money exchanged. There's no there's no FV exchanged. It's all spiritual, and it's all contributing to this idea of what a people is, their existence.
Yeah.
And I don't think delicate artists can do that. And when I say delicate, I mean artists who are 2 days away from like poverty, or they're like 2 steps away from having like a mental breakdown or anything like that. They may produce work when they're in that state.
Yeah.
It may be amazing work.
Yeah.
But I think society and the people who are seeking that spiritual value are going to look elsewhere, because you need so many other things taken care of that it's hard to engage with that person. It's hard to uplift that person whenever they're not uplifting themselves.
Yeah. The artists who create FV, you mean?
No, SV, spiritual value. I'm saying that you can't do that. So if you are an artist and you know your rent is, I don't know, what's an average rent here in Berlin? $650?
Yeah.
$650?
For a single apartment. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Let's say if they can't work a job that they may hate, but they know they have to do to make $850 to pay their rent.
Yeah.
If they're not willing to do that, if they don't value their mental health enough to do that, their stability to do that, then why would they put any more energy into their artwork if they're not willing to put the energy into living for their artwork? Like, there's a lot of artists willing to die for their work, but I find that less artists are willing to actually put in the hard work of living for their artwork. And not to bring up another hip-hop,
but this is life perspective in general. So
yeah. Well, not to bring up another hip hop artist, but have you heard of Brother Ali?
Brother Ali.
Ali.
Brother Ali.
Yeah, he's sehr schön.
Okay.
But he has this line in a song that goes, "If you don't really think about the things that you say, don't call me a hater when I feel the same way." So I find that the people who aren't putting the thought in, the energy in, to produce the best work that they can, their contributions to the spiritual value are limited because of that. I'm not saying they don't have value. I'm not saying they can't contribute.
So they're cutting the spirit energy.
Yeah.
When they think too much about getting money out of it.
No, we're talking about spiritual value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we just define spiritual value, not how to produce it.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Well, I'm saying that there's a link between the two. That's the overall point I'm making.
Yeah.
And whenever you say, whenever you try to segment it up into 2 separate types of artists, I think that's a way of an artist positioning themselves to not engage with the world of commerce, with the world of business, with the world of people taking care of themselves and their family through their work.
True. Just another thought came up. Does every artist start in a spirit value?
I think,
or do also there artists who like starting art to make like, okay, this is a good idea to make business, that's why I'm starting art?
I think those people would be the second type of people you mentioned. I think they'd be much better starting a sign shop and just making signs for people. But in the first part, or the first type of person, I think it's required that they want to share their spirit, that they want to share their view of life, they want to share whatever emotions they're having. And I just want to give some perspective on this, because if you're watching this and you don't know me, so whenever I first left university, I moved into a art studio that was right in the middle of, it was like not the projects, but kind of the projects. There was a lot of like reduced housing. It was like a half warehouse district, half residential area. It was very high crime. Rent was very low.
And perfect for an artist.
Yeah, and so I was able to live off of about $150 a month. And I lived in my studio. I had no shower, no kitchen. And I did that for probably, I'm good now. I got some deodorant. But I was able to live barely.
Yeah.
But I was able to make oil paintings. I was able to focus on my work.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I was able to do all that. But
you can really explore art in a pure way.
Well, I thought that. But after a year, it wasn't good. Like, I mean,
it's good to have some materials ready to create art, and art is not always related to the materials you're using, but it's good if you have like good materials you bring together. It also has to be like experience, and very experienced artists can make great artworks out of very cheap stuff.
Yeah.
But if you have like a better paint, a better brush, whatever, it's another thing of like creating artworks.
Yeah, it's for me to wrap up my point. I found that when I was well fed and had an actual bed to sleep in, had an actual kitchen, had an actual bathroom.
How long did you sleep on a mattress on the floor? We went all through that.
At least a year. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm saying on the other side, I make better work now. It's not coming from the same place. And when you were mentioning the better brushes, the better paint,
canvas,
the better
paint,
everything. I think that's a necessity because all masters of their craft or masters of their art use the best materials they can afford. They use the best tools they can afford because it makes the work.
They can afford. You say it. That's why there's already a value before the spirit is coming into it.
Well, if you have the spirit, then
you can draw with a stick and the sand and create something super nice. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And I saw that in India. But
did someone take a picture of that and that's how you saw it? Or was it you just saw them doing it?
I saw them doing it, and also it's kind of their spirit there, or their culture, They have this specific time where they like even paint just with sand on the floor. They make like mosaics, and they like invite the good spirit to their houses, and it's super nice to see. And it just vanished the next day, or when the when wind comes, or when the people just passing by, it just went off, and the artworks are very detailed, super nice, and it was just mind-blowing to see something like that, and that was crazy.
And I'm sure it came from years and years of doing it. So there's a pattern.
It's a ritual.
It's a ritual.
And the spirit, like cultural identity in that case.
And that's valuable.
Yeah.
That's spiritual value.
But nobody's really paying for that, It's not the...
And that's the point I'm making, is that if no one's paying for it and you still want to do it, you are still responsible for finding a way to get all your basic needs covered.
Yeah.
You are responsible for that. And if you think some rich friend is going to just give you money, it's not going to happen. Yeah. It might, but then you're in debt to that person.
True.
And then what's your spirit going to do then when you know that whatever you do is based off of the happiness or satisfaction of this outside person? Then are you really making things for yourself?
I was in very bad debt when I was younger, and it just feels bad to know that you have to pay like amount of money and you're carrying a huge bag. It just makes life in general super difficult. You can't move much. You don't like, your spirit is in a very little container. And it's better to be more free in a sense of you have no responsibilities or no debt, or in English, In German we say Verbindlichkeiten.
Verbindlichkeiten.
It's like connections, but value connections to like people you own things. And it kills the spirit.
Yeah, and with that debt, there's another rapper you need to check out. His name is Dave Ramsey.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard of him?
No,
Okay.
Dave is all American rappers, right?
Yeah, he's a old school American rapper.
Mm-hmm.
If you just look him up, I'll put it up here. So the point that I'm dancing around, just I'm saying that you saw those people doing things in the sand.
Yeah.
You yourself do actions that have no intention or of financial return, which is like your wheat pasting. You go and you put it out for the world.
Yeah,
it's for the joy of the world. It's for the world to experience.
Yes.
And there is spiritual value in that. You are contributing to the voice of a culture.
That's true.
And then so that is a type of value. So if we flip over to CV or commercial value or financial value, I mean FV, financial value.
Yeah, we had that term. Yeah.
I view art in the same lens that I view like commerce and art in the same lens as I view the stock market or the stock exchange. And I view it as when people purchase your art when you're young and they hold on to it, they take care of it through the years, they move it with them to their new houses, they keep it clean, they keep it in a good frame. That's buying stock whenever a company is new and a company is low in terms of cost to get into the game.
Yeah.
And as that artist grows up and continues the path, improves the skills, uses better materials,
explores different, fields.
Different emotions, different visuals, subject matter, or whatever it is that artist wants to do, then all those past works that patrons have bought becomes more and more valuable.
Yeah.
So it's the same type of incentive system. And I think a lot of artists get turned off because of their if they understand the stock market, it's the subconscious similarities that they see, like
they don't like it in general. You know, they don't want to put a number on a piece. I mean, they feel valued when somebody said, you know, I will buy your painting for $1,000. They feel good. But then they start to compare, you know, oh no, I know this artist and he sold the same thing. I mean, he does different stuff, but he sold something similar for 2,000. And now I'm just half valued.
Well, my perspective is if you sold it for if you're 23 years old, you sold it for $1,000, you pay your or euros, you pay your taxes on it, and then if you take the money you made, and if you don't spend it on food, you spend it on, or you invest it in the stock market, or invest it in your craft, or your, in tools, in like making better work, then that money will grow with you, and it's not like a comparison judgment of what someone else had. It's more of like I'm glad I made that work. I'm glad it now lives with someone. I'm happy for what I received for it, and this is what I can do because of it. But if it's just a number game, the number's never going to be high enough. It's what are you doing with the number?
Yeah, I mean, it's a smart thing.
I feel like I must misunderstand the thrust of this podcast right now.
The what cast?
Oh, the audio art.
I mean, it's also nice to talk about misunderstandings between artists and business people. Like, I just went through some topics and I wrote it down, and it's like the misunderstanding is that artists are like more focused on objectives, and business people like want to see a return on invest. And this like is also a conflict, because people like artists want to have like their artworks getting explored. They want to see, okay, ask questions about it. How did you came up? Where were your first sketches? How did you came up with the idea? Like people, like artists, really want to they just laugh. Hey, what you thought about that? And want to really like there's depth, But business people are like super different. They want to see. They just have like a three-liner and say, how much is the value? How much will it grow? Where does it come from? And that's it. Shortly.
Well, should they care about anything else?
I don't know. I mean, these are like I'm talking about very, very business people, not business people who have like a heart and a family and stuff. So
so you mean successful business people?
Successful people. I mean, should an artist also, because we live in a society that like has to pay a bill, so should we cut ourselves a little bit and think more about business and cut a little bit of the spirit? Should we do that? The other thing is, I'm just like, because you were saying, people like artists, I know they also go in cafes, work there, or, they have part-time jobs to serve their artist life. Should we as artists also produce artworks that are easy to get, understand, and have that business perspective and as an easy selling point? I saw in Prague some artists who just paint landscapes of the bridge, of the famous bridge. But they don't like it, but they know they can sell it. So they sit on the bridge, paint the bridge, they're tired of that. But repeating that, because tourists coming and they buy it, so they can afford the life as an artist.
So you would consider that type of person an artist?
Yes, because he finds a creative way in his art portfolio to create something that he can live from it and support his other art, like his real art, spirit art.
Okay.
Or would you prefer that somebody?
I would just call that person a painter. I wouldn't call them an artist. I feel like artist
from
is
a
a
graphic
different thing.
Perspective.
Yeah, I feel like artist is a different thing. I feel like most people use it as a general term for someone who like is creative or does something creative.
Does something creative with the hands.
Yeah.
It's not always just art.
And
it's just illustrations or
commercial. It's like commercial illustration. It could be like, craft.
But he uses his skill set as a service to get something.
Yeah, but why isn't he a dentist or something? Like it's
because in that case he can practice his skills. He's getting better in.
Let's see. This is the perspective I don't understand. So it's like
Misunderstanding.
if he this fictional person. We're not talking about anyone specifically.
Yeah, no.
If this fictional person decided that life is tough, I need to make money, and he's working from that perspective. And the best idea he could come up with is to reduce his art to a tourist trap. Then
it's not a tourist trap. People enjoy it. They love it. They want to keep a piece of Prague, let's say.
Yeah,
Let's stick to that.
They don't love the art. They love an idea of buying something in a city that they had a good experience in. It has nothing to do with the art. It's just a memory. It's like a knick-knack.
No, I wouldn't say, because he brings still his style into this work, in his artwork. It's still an artwork because he interprets this bridge in his style. So, and he is a local. So he has kind of an identity to this area, and the tourist thinks, okay, I bought a piece of art from this artist of this location, and bring it home, and I have something very unique, authentic piece from the area and a good memory. He could also, good point, buy a very authentic piece of artwork from this artist, not a bridge, something that came out of him, what he's usually doing. But then it's not easy to get, it's difficult.
I feel like you're defending it.
I'm defending it, yeah.
Yeah, and
it's like I'm starting to paint the television tower.
Yeah, and if you stopped doing what you're doing, and the energy you put into painting the telephone tower was used purely for commercial gain because people, because there's millions of people that come to this city every year.
Yeah.
And they want a little piece of Berlin to take home, and
Yeah.
they'll go to jail if they take some of the wall. So they buy your telephone tower. I would
It's a television tower, but telephone tower.
yeah,
is
whatever,
nice.
television tower, the big ball in the sky. From my point of view, I would still love you, but I think your direction would be misguided, and I would direct you towards different ways to make income. Because if your goal, so that's probably, you were mentioned earlier that artists are very goal oriented, objective oriented.
Yeah.
So if your objective is to make money without having a job, I feel like that's reactionary. I feel like that's coming from a place of, it's coming from like a place of someone younger who is just discovering the world is like this system, and they don't want to be a part of the system. So they're going to do everything they can to not engage, not to learn, not to grow within the system.
People have that mindset. They want to have the outlaw style. And
but like, I mean, becoming an adult is realizing everything's a system. Being an adult is realizing that the system isn't that profound. It's just a lot of people working together.
Yeah, and they're not better than you.
They're not better than
doing
you.
It.
They're not worse than you. We're all just filling a niche.
Yeah.
And if
all little jeers.
Yeah, and it's like you can either like lose sleep over that, or you can just figure out where you fit in. Like, what are you contributing? Like, that's
in this
that's
case, maybe you're investing in yourself, in a sense of, hey, I want to figure out how to get a touch point with my art, and I try to bring my artwork in a different style that is easier to sell. So it's a transformation of this artwork, of this artist in this, because he's figuring out how to live as an artist. So he uses his art and his style and his skill set in a portfolio of things and see what works.
I think that's a fine line, and also I think something we need to consider is integrity, and I feel like that would be a lapse of integrity to do that. Me personally, do I sell as much as I would like? No.
Never.
Do I change my art to make it more sellable? No.
I'm thinking of it.
Is it in my, would it be in my best financial interest as someone who's seeking to be an independent painter, an independent artist, to change my art to something that's more sellable? Yes. Is that something I'm willing to do based off my integrity? No. So it's like you got to make your choice yourself.
Yeah. I get it. And it's a good point. Maybe there's another lever you can pull or trigger to make better value out of your artworks without changing your style or the motives you're painting. And let's think about what business people think how value is created. And from their perspective, it's visibility. When something is visible, they see it, it's easier to get value out of it. So if an artwork is seen several times, there's a value. That's why I'm repeating myself on the street over again. So I'm creating a value out of it. Hopefully, it's still a process, but in that way, I hope that I can make it more or less.
I feel like you're describing a brand.
Yeah. It's a brand. It's my more or less approach, because people also think sometimes, I saw that, I know the brand, I heard that.
Yeah,
because they saw the fox multiple times, and I showed them a sticker. And I mean, I'm more or less like iconic in my drawings, and it's more a design than artworks most of the time. but the creation itself is art. So yeah, I'm struggling in my own definition.
Well, can I defend business people real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think I don't know if it's like a perspective that's just thrust onto us in art school or higher education or any type of like learning environment for art.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like business people are treated as separate or different or like the villain. And I don't necessarily think that's the case. I think because I made a point to study business when I was in Denver.
Yeah.
I got an art scholarship to take a entrepreneurship program with the Chamber of Commerce or Small Business Development Center, I think it was.
Yeah.
And what I learned, because it was just a black box for me, I just didn't know what was in it.
For a lot of people.
And so I spent months in this class. I would go after work and I would just spend hours with this guy. His name was actually Greg as well. Unfortunately, he passed away.
Okay.
Yeah, real sad. But what I learned is that business is just another system.
Mm-hmm.
And what business people are doing, from my perspective, is very similar to what artists are doing. We're both making systems.
Yeah.
It's the only difference is that businesses are doing it with people, with currency, with like the exchange of value in a very direct way.
Yeah.
And I feel like artists are doing the same exact things, but pretending like they're not doing it. And the grift is that whenever artists are doing it, it's somehow more noble or more elevated, and it's less like dirty or something like that.
Well, just jump in because I have this thing in my mind. Business people create value out of nothing, and artists try to make it with something. Because business people more or less never like really produce something, so they are not a manufacturer of something.
They produce the systems that create the value.
Yeah.
And that's very important.
It is very important, and the creation process in an artist studio, let's say, is much longer and like painful, and you never get like this value back in the creation process. Not.
I think that's a very modern idea. So I feel like all us artists have just been lied to for so long.
That's true.
Do you know about Rembrandt's workshop and all the artist workshops in the past?
Rembrandt's.
Yeah.
I know that Rembrandt also had a huge studio, and he taught others to paint like him.
It was a picture manufacturing warehouse.
Yeah.
So he would hire artists. They would paint it like 90% of the way. He would come in, do like the last 10%.
Yeah.
And then sell it as a Rembrandt.
Yeah.
But the thing is, most artists were doing that. Whenever you wanted to learn art, you had to go to one of these masters and study under them and help paint them. Leonardo da Vinci did it. There's paintings where he like did a section of it. It's just what it is, because it wasn't like this high art thing in the past. It is now because they're precious and people have kept them so long.
Yeah.
But they were literally just picture makers. They were painters.
Yeah.
And then some were better than others, and then other people came along later and said this is actually high art. Even down to the subject matter. It's like if you look at all these religious paintings, it's what the patrons were buying, and the patron was the church.
Yeah.
And so you would have all these Annunciation paintings. You would have all these Madonna and Child paintings.
Yeah.
And since there was this...
but there were other artists who just create something like portraits and in their free time, and they're selling it on the market. And
yeah, the ones who were starving.
Yeah.
So my point is that you had this like this bar set where it's like it's an Annunciation, or let's say Madonna and Child, Mary and Jesus. And so they all are the same subject matter. So you have this constant of what the subject matter is. So then the artist, their ideas could actually be visible because you see the differences that person made. And then you can actually judge the quality of an artist because you have like 1,000 of the same type, like the same subject matter. And then you're able to see which artists do it better, which ones do it worse.
Yeah.
And then you're able to actually have a solid
see the performance in the stroke and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, but now everything is so chaotic and everyone's doing all these different things and everyone's so individualized that it's nearly impossible for a regular person just off the street to say this is good art, this is bad art. It's all down to how they feel. And I think that
it's another misunderstanding, talking about good and bad art.
Yeah, and I think that whenever you do that and you try to base a career off of what people you in your mind would buy or wouldn't buy, I think it's a losing battle.
Some really love battles and they're warriors.
We're lovers.
Wood lovers?
We're lovers.
Yeah.
Wood lovers.
I don't know.
You're talking about carpenters now.
Also artists.
Yeah.
Some of them.
Did I get too intense right there?
I mean, no, the wood thing is fine. I like that.
No, I'm talking about the other stuff.
You went really deep, and I love it.
Okay.
I didn't hear about this. Rembrandt had a manufacturer, like a factory. I thought it's more like he has students, and he used the students to paint huge artworks in his style, and then he just made a signature below and say, okay, this is a Rembrandt. Next.
I think
this was the frame I thought, but it was really like a factory. It's crazy.
Well, the truth is probably in the middle somewhere. But the
good thing is they were able to learn
but
the skills.
Yeah. I guess it all comes down to what you want to do, but
you need the perspective. People these days didn't see other type of art, so they were like, okay, this is the thing I have to go to, Or some people just see soccer players in a Bravo Sport and okay, I want to be like that defender. Then you go for that. You study this guy, how he's doing it, where he went, how much he trained, did and that. So, and these days, it's different. We have no idols, not good idols to look up to and say, okay, I want to be like that, and I have to do this and that to go there. That's much more different and, like you say, super chaotic. I wouldn't know, I also reflect myself to see, okay, is there another artist I really adore and I want to be like that? It's, for me, very difficult. As you know, I don't know anybody. Whenever you came up with an artist or a rapper. So it's, for me, very difficult to maybe have to study again. And still, when I find out there's a cool artist I adore, I find out he's struggling too. Because he's doing it, and he's doing it in that way, and it's something I really love, that this artist is authentic, but still they are not making it in that way, even if they have huge murals and everything. They struggle. And then I see other artists who have a very, let's say, design perspective in it and creating more simple art, but be able to scale it up and making quantity and not much quality. They making it much better. That's difficult.
Yeah. I mean, all my friends, the people who I've kept personal connections with through the years that are also artists. And then all the artists that I've met, very few of them have just financial freedom. They either have, if they're doing it full time, they either have a partner who has a job, and so they have health insurance through that. At least in the United States, they have health insurance through that.
Okay.
They either barely make it, which is also a huge success. They're able to pay their bills, but it's not much more than that. They're not able to save or invest.
So let's turn the point. What do you think? Where's the misunderstanding?
I think
in artist versus, like you mentioned, real life.
the misunderstanding is that they're separate.
Yeah, I mean,
I think that artists think art is some separate like entity. It's a different world. It's a different environment, and the people who aren't in it just don't understand.
yeah, I mean, they look from outside and inside. They see bad and good art from their perspective, and then that's the opinion, and then they go back. They never go like deeper. Rarely they go deeper if they really have the interest to explore the artwork.
Yeah, I think artists find safety in the idea that they're chosen, or that
The chosen one.
their vision is unique, or that they're the one who's gonna figure it out. And I think there's a lot of excitement in that, and I think there's a lot of energy put into maintaining that perspective.
Yeah.
And I think the misunderstanding happens when things get rough, that artists think this is just part of their biography, or they think that this is just part of their documentary that's going to be made about them. And in reality, I think
It's true. But if you don't make the documentary about yourself on your own, nobody will come and do it.
Yeah, I mean, look at Exit Through the Gift Shop.
It's a self-made project, right?
Yeah.
So they did it on their own.
And then most of these artist documentaries, they're produced by the foundation that's in the artist's name. So it's like whatever museum of the artist is making this documentary to promote the art of that artist, so more people come to the museum, or more people buy the art. It's all promotion and marketing, and and I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's just the way the world works, and I think it's our job as artists to look at the world with honest eyes and then reflect it back.
Yeah.
And I think when artists don't
But
do
then
that,
you have to find smart ways, like you say, to promote yourself, to make you visible and easy to access.
I would say that it's important to define the limits of your integrity, and then either stick to it or realize you have none. And
if you have none, you have to work on it.
If you have none, do whatever you want. Don't feel bad about it. It's just who you are.
I mean, I'm not talking about feeling bad. It's just, the corridor you're moving, calling life, it's getting very narrow.
Well, see, I think the misunderstanding would be is that I think some people would hear, define your integrity or realize you have none, and then start making judgment calls on who has it and who doesn't.
Yeah.
And that's not the game. The game
it's also, I caught myself like judging other people more than myself. I used to judge myself very hard, and people say that I'm too hard to myself.
Yeah, we're our own worst critic.
We're the worst critics, and if you take life much more easier and adapt to it in a good way with a pure heart, you said, things work out much better than any concept you can think of. And I was thinking about, like, when you were like explaining everything, is there any blueprint you can came up to master like living as an artist?
Yeah.
Between these
it's funny.
two values.
It's funny.
Is there a blueprint or not? Or you have to figure out on your own,
It feels like you this was not planned, anyone who's listening. Yeah, actually there is. I spent 7 years in Denver, Colorado figuring all this stuff out. It's the reason I was in that business class.
Okay, that's cool.
I wrote
I try to find it, I'm more or less reflecting on art to give art a value just in an art sphere. But then how to link it to business, it's a black box, and people, you're privileged, you went to a school to like get some knowledge out of it. Maybe you can share some thoughts the last minute we have this podcast would be super nice.
Well, it's like I was saying, it's I spent 7 years writing an experimental publication.
Yeah.
And I got it about 95% complete. And was applied to a grant to produce 1,000 of them
Yeah.
and distribute them around Denver. Unfortunately, one of the judges for the grant decided it was not art, so it did not get produced. But I did put a PDF of it up on my website.
Yeah.
Have you've been to my website, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. It's under the projects page.
I know that. Yeah.
And I believe in direct naming. You may say I'm a little German in that, but it's called How to Stay an Artist.
How to stay an artist.
Yeah. This isn't about doctors. It's about Künstler, yeah.
Okay, nice.
How to Stay a Künstler.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not translated into German, and it's definitely built on the American financial system. But
it's different to our system.
Yeah, so there'll be changes.
It's harder, let's say. I would say American business or American lifestyle is harder.
There is
similarities.
What? There is similarities.
Yeah.
Germany is the economic powerhouse of Europe, and it's just another reason I came to this country rather than others. But if you are listening to this and you actually go to that, just realize I am not a financial advisor. I am not your fiduciary. It's simply the tools and that I use to get it done. The way I broke it down is I just made a big to-do list. And if you complete everything on that to-do list, you can print it out, put it on your desk, put it on your wall.
Yeah.
Then you will be light years ahead.
Maybe you can pin the to-do list. Is it long?
Well,
on the screen?
No, it's just one page. I can put it up there maybe.
All right. Cool.
But it's, yeah. Man, I'm real sad that publication didn't happen. It was supposed to be my...
It was not the time.
Well, it was supposed to be my thank you to Denver for taking care of me for so long.
You can still make it because the value is still there and the knowledge and your insights, maybe they are not vanished yet. It's still like there. And I also have a lot of projects in my portfolio that didn't happen because AI was not ready and other things. And I make a recap and maybe I will jump on very old project I thought a lot about in the past. And
What's it called?
No, this is very design related, but I wanted to create a digitized design process because designers struggle to go along the design process and because it's very intuitive.
So you mean like from ideation to
all that stuff, but it's digitized and you can work in a teamwork from all over the place because it's an application and not just like sticky notes on a wall and all that stuff. So really have one cockpit. And the good thing is when AI comes into the game is like when you have a decision to make, you ask the market if the decision you're doing inside the product development, is it uplifting or downgrading your product? That's more or less the idea of it.
I'm sorry, I was trying to focus, but I'm like shaking. I'm so cold.
Yeah. I feel that here.
Yeah.
You want to come closer, or you want?
No. You're always trying to do some weird stuff. So I'm sure you just made a really good point. And
I'm glad you shared that.
I feel like a jerk for not fully paying attention to what you said.
It's fine. We can cut it out.
No. Let me try to remember.
You don't have to.
No. It's the respectful thing to do. So you created a digital process for professional designers to make sure they adhere to the best practices of design thinking.
Yeah.
And what was your when do you plan on finishing that?
I'm working on making this process more interesting, so I'm really working on like making the process visible. In making this SVG animation and other stuff, and I don't know, I don't have a timeline for that because it's very complex. I want to make this idea more interesting to get somebody who jumps in and wanna participate.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So are there any other misunderstandings you'd like to bring up?
Misunderstandings. We can make a second episode about it, because art is a misunderstanding itself, but it's fine, because art gives you the possibility as an observer to think whatever you want, and it's not a misunderstanding, it's just a statement.
Yeah. Yeah, I could agree with that. Yeah, whenever you're making art, sometimes you don't even know what you're trying to say.
Yeah, right, and that's fine. You sometimes you are expressing something without knowing what it is. Sometimes you don't have a comment, or you can verbalize your feelings, and you bring it on a canvas, and still there's a lot to misunderstand or to understand.
I have another misunderstanding.
Yeah.
I thought in August you said the heater would be fixed in here.
Ah, okay.
Was that a lost in translation thing? What
No,
happened there?
I really tried to make it, but I get no response for them.
Oh, man.
For the people who listen here, we have a gas Heizung here, and it's kind of dangerous. So I put up these electronic Heizung to work around, because they're still cheaper than this gas. Greetings to Putin. And yeah, this guy is freezing now, and I also freeze. It's stupid.
Yeah, but you're all cool.
I'm cool, yeah.
You have your
I
face
became
warmer
cool
on.
here.
Yeah. Okay, let's think of one thing we can say to where everyone will misunderstand it. Is there any general statements you'd like to say that is easily misinterpreted?
Oh, wow. I wasn't prepared for that. If you have one, just bring it. I have to think about it.
Let me see what could be really interpreted incorrectly.
It's a funny thing.
The one thing about the internet is I'm really scared to be...
Internet.
Yeah.
Scared about internet.
No, I'm just scared of being misunderstood.
Why?
Because people think whatever they think is correct.
It's their perspective. They can go. They're foolish.
Yeah, but they act on it like...
They know what they're doing and thinking.
Yeah.
But how does it matter?
I don't know. I'm just scared of being...
Misunderstood.
Yeah.